Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. We are going to be playing with foundation. I have a brand new foundation in front of me as well as a primer. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my face. I'm going to zoom you guys in. You can get a good idea of how it looks texture wise. I think that when I review face products like this, as far as like foundations and primers go, I'm really going to zoom you guys in. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but it's all for you guys. I want you guys to get a good idea of how these products sit on the skin, how they perform, and all that good stuff. So let's get into it. The foundation I am talking about is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. If you were an Ulta or if you are an Ulta Platinum Rewards member, Ulta gave you the option to order this kind of like a pre-release type deal, I guess you could say. They also had a buy one, get one 50% off, so I decided to also pick up the Can't Stop, Won't Stop primer. Now this just got to me in the mail a couple of days ago. I did do a little bit of a swatch test. The shade that I picked up, which is the shade Warm Vanilla, is just a little bit on the light side for me. I've never really tried any of NYX's complexion stuff, like their foundations or concealers or anything like that. One of my all-time favorite primers is the NYX Honey Do Me Up. I have talked about this so much on my channel. I love this primer. I was pretty excited when I saw this. This is advertised as up to 24 hours wear with a matte finish. It is supposed to be full coverage. It dropped in 45 shades. That is incredible. As far as I know, a foundation dropping in 45 shades, I think is the largest launch or release of a shade range, if I'm wording that correctly. The Can't Stop, Won't Stop primer, this retails for $13.99, but I did get it 50% off since I purchased this guy, and this foundation retails for $14.99. Typically, I am not really a matte foundation type of gal. It really depends. This summer, I've kind of been more into the kind of demi-matte finishes, like the L'Oreal Pro Matte foundation has been kind of one of my favorites recently. So we will see how this works. My skin is a lot dewier in the summertime. There's a lot of humidity going on. I am definitely more on the hydrated side, and I can even end up looking a little bit oily. So don't think I'll have an issue with the foundation. The primer, I'm not 100% sure about, but we're still gonna try it out. I'm gonna do one half of my face with primer, one half without, and then we will also test it being applied with both a sponge and a beauty blender. I'm gonna start off with the side with the primer, so let's just go ahead and get it put on here. This is what the primer looks like. It comes in this packaging. Now again, I did swatch this and it feels very thick. And I won't forget, I am going to zoom you guys in when I get to putting on the foundation. But if you look at this here, I am squeezing this super hard. Look at how that comes out. Like stick straight. It says you want to apply an even layer to the skin and then pat to set it. Look at that. That is so funny. Look how that's sitting up. It is super thick. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this evenly on my face. It feels kind of sticky and it's a little hard to spread out. It almost feels like you're not really spreading like anything, or that you need more product, but I don't want to go overboard with it. It feels very drying. This is definitely a matte primer. I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is going to be good for those who are super, super oily. All right, so now it says to kind of press it into the skin once you've applied it and pat to set it down. I hope I'm doing this right because this is the instructions that are on the side of the box. It says to spread on an even layer and then to kind of press and tap it in to set. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in and let's apply this foundation. All right, you guys, so this is as far as I can zoom you in. This side definitely looks a lot more mattified, as you can tell, because this is the side I just washed and moisturized my face. I did put on some eye makeup, but as you can tell, this side's a lot more dewy where my moisturizer is, and this side is a lot more mattified. There's a lot of blurring going on. The strange thing is I don't see any dimethicone in this primer, so we're going to be using the 3D HD blender from Sigma. It says to shake this foundation well. Like I said, you guys, it's a little bit light for me. I'm going to start off with just a little bit over a pump. Now I'm going to work in sections because I feel like this might dry down quickly on the skin. Blender. Let's get to work. Now, first impressions, to me, this does not seem like a full coverage foundation. You may have to build it up, which we will see how it builds. Of course, I didn't start with a lot. I'm still seeing quite a bit of my redness peek through. Let's go ahead and start with a little bit more. I almost feel like this primer might be eating up the product, or like it's making it not blend as well or something, if that makes sense. I can tell you right now, so far with this, I am not a huge fan. It's looking almost like it wants to sit on top of my skin so far. Excuse my zit right here. I did pick at it. I know it's a huge no-no. It doesn't look like it really wants to blend into my skin. Like, it looks like it's sitting on top. Okay, this is not offering to me a full coverage. I can still see a lot of my redness through here. Even on my nose, it looks a little bit red still. Full coverage means full coverage. It is supposed to literally look like a filter on your skin. I'm not getting that from this. Let me go ahead and take a closer look here. So it looks like it's almost clinging a bit. Like, it looks like there's like some separation in the product here. It looks like it's kind of building up right here. I typically don't have issues with even matte foundations, especially matte foundations breaking up on the skin. But it just looks like there's like weird like patches of product, and it looks kind of dry and ishy. And I really hydrated my skin, you guys. I use the Is Clinical Intensive Youth Cream as my moisturizer. That is my go-to. That is a very moisturizing product. So I'm kind of shocked that even despite that, and the fact that my skin is somewhat oily, that this is not sitting as well as I thought it would on the skin. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish applying it to my forehead here. This is not a full coverage product at all. It definitely needs to be built up, and I don't really want to build it up much more because it feels super drying. And since I already see it like gathering here and bunching up, I feel like if I apply more, it's just going to look worse. One more final check with the side with the primer. Yeah, there's like patches of foundation right here. My pores are super exaggerated. I do have larger pores on my forehead, and I definitely don't want a foundation that exaggerates that. I don't know if it's the foundation or if it's the primer. My pores are super obvious right here, which is where they normally are not. So let's go ahead and switch over. I'm going to dampen my Sigma Flat Kabuki. You guys know that when I use a foundation brush, I always get it damp. I have to. It's just the way that it works. So I want to follow my regimen as I normally would. We're not going to put a primer on this side of my face. I kind of want to see how this works without a primer. Woo! And I'm flinging the cap everywhere. So I'm going to put one more pump of product on the back of my hand and start dabbing this on. I'm going to go a little bit heavier with the product this time. See if it changes as far as cakiness. And let's just go ahead and start blending and buffing. So obviously right off the bat, you're going to get a lot more coverage. Holy smokes. Like I said, you guys, the shade I picked is a little bit too light, so don't be alarmed. It wants to move around all over my nose. That looks horrific. Oh God, this separation is real. It's worse with a brush. It is separating like crazy. I'm looking down here in my mirror. It wants to break up. It is just breaking up all in here. It's like it doesn't want to blend. This is really strange. Now, yeah, I went heavier with the product, but regardless, even on the side that I use the blender, it's still breaking up. It does not want to sit on my nose whatsoever. Oh boy, this I wasn't prepared for. Now, I have had some products that I'm not a huge fan of on my channel, but nothing quite like this where I like straight up hate a product. Hate is such a strong word. I don't like to use it, but I can tell you right now, I do not like this foundation. It is patchy and weird. It exaggerates texture like none other. It wants to bunch up. Like there's just like product bunching right here around my nose. It doesn't want to blend on my nose. Oh my God, this looks atrocious. I honestly don't even think I would go out in public looking like this. From far away, it might not look horrible. Maybe it does, but ugh. I think the issue is that it sets way too quickly. Ew, I have terrible foundation lips. What I'm gonna do, you guys, I'm gonna hop off camera quickly. I'm gonna try to salvage this, put on the rest of my makeup, see if I can get this looking any better, and I will be right back because holy shit, this looks fucking terrible. I will be right back. Guys, I am back. Obviously, I warmed up my face quite a bit with some bronzer, put on some lipstick because, oh my God, did I have foundation butthole lips a few moments ago. So the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation is a nightmare for anyone, I'm going to straight out say it, who doesn't have extremely oily skin. If you are someone who is so incredibly oily, which I don't really think I've met anyone purposely with like wet, oily skin, but honestly, this is like, that is like the only consumer that could even stand using this. The Can't Stop, Won't Stop Mattifying Primer is horrific. My skin feels so tight on this side. I feel like that it's actually sucking everything out of your skin. The back of it says that this comfortable matte formula preps your complexion for super smooth foundation application. I have to differ. I feel like my skin looks so extremely textured. My pores are exaggerated, even more so on the side where I have this primer. My pores just look so large in my forehead. Everything is exaggerated all through here. The side that I used the brush, you're going to get a lot more coverage, so that is a plus. I don't know if the combination of the primer is something that helps it like stay in place and helps it blend in a sense, but I kind of feel like you should be able to use a product without the primer, because what if you didn't like the primer? What if your skin didn't agree with it? I feel like there's a lot of instances where that could be kind of a dangerous concept. That's just speculation though. I don't know if it's like you have to have this if you're going to use this foundation. It's not marketed that way, but whatever. Moving on. Concealer laid on top of it beautifully. I didn't have any issues with that. Product went okay on top of it. I didn't have any issues there. Once I did use a more hydrating setting spray, I put on the Hangover 3-in-1 RX. It did sort of help set things down. It gave me a drink of so needed hydration, obviously, but still, I can't do the texture on my face. It just exaggerates everything. One thing that I will say that I noticed as far as the highlight goes, when I put on my highlighter, I don't know what it was. It almost looks chunkier, lumpier. It's just really strange. I guess I'm kind of struggling with this because, like I said, I've never reviewed a product on my channel where I am like, oh my God, this is complete, excuse my French, dog shit. Like, I have never used a foundation that looks this bad on my skin. I'm gonna be totally honest and say that to you. Had I been reviewing this in the winter time, oh my God, I don't think I would have even been able to film this video because I have such dry skin. Now, obviously you're all gonna say, well, of course, why would a mattifying foundation or primer ever work on your skin if it's dry? That is true. However, I feel like good matte formulas can kind of suit everyone. Matte formula or matte doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have oily skin. It's the finish. It's the way that it sets on the skin. Yes, if you have dry skin, you're going to have a harder time finding a matte formula that works for you, but it's not impossible. For example, one of my favorite foundations ever, and I do have to say this, is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. This is such an amazing matte foundation. I love it. This is what I wore today to work. This is such a beautiful product. It works, I believe, would work on a wide range of skin types. It's just a really, really good foundation. And this one also offers up to a 24-hour wear. This one truly does last. This one was already breaking up on my skin. To be honest, I am so really freaking disappointed. I mean, I love the shade range. The packaging is fantastic. It's glass. I love that it has a pump. I love the idea of it and the direction that this product was going, but unfortunately, it just didn't work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this foundation is a total fail, a total pass. I would never, ever reach for this, ever again. It is definitely going in the bad bin. It is up there with the worst of the worst. I apologize that I have to come to you guys with a negative review. They're not my favorite reviews to do, but they are very necessary. I have to share this with you. I have to be honest. The primer is just, I can't with that primer. I cannot wait. I feel like I'm gonna break out or something. I'm literally gonna jump off camera and wash my face because my face feels so tight and dry and like it's being pulled. It is so uncomfortable. That is it, you guys. I wish I could have given you good news, but unfortunately it is what it is, and not every product is going to be amazing. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, share it, of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so that you actually get notified when I upload new videos. I love you guys so, so much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!